Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the JVIMPACTS podcast. We talk about motivation, health, and life. You're live here on our YouTube channel and on our podcast, wherever you consume your podcast. Maybe it's iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn. But my name is Coach JV. I'm the top health and mindset coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. You'll hear me repeat the same things over and over again because repetition with passion is the mother of success. And if you didn't listen to yesterday's podcast, it was all about decisions. Something that I say in my group classes all the time in the 3T Fitness facility is one decision becomes a habit that becomes your culture. Now today I want to talk about a subject we've covered before and we cover in the 3T Fitness system is carbohydrates. What happens to a carbohydrate system? And when you start to understand what happens to a carbohydrate, really breaking it down to simplistic terms, you can make better decisions on when you're going to eat your food and how to use your food for fuel. But before we do, like I said, I'm Coach JV. I'm the top health and mindset coach in the world. And if you're first time on my podcast or YouTube channel, I want to say thank you for joining the JVIMPACTS podcast. And if you sent this podcast or YouTube video to somebody, I want to say thank you for helping us fulfill our mission of impacting lives every single day. The exciting news is, as of yesterday, we're now on YouTube Live and podcast, wherever you consume your podcast. So you can now listen to the podcast and watch it recorded live on YouTube. So you're watching that video right now. So I'm excited. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're going to be going over into this stuff every single morning. So every day you'll have a video on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got Motivation Monday, Health Tuesday, Hump Day Wednesday, Life Lesson Thursday, and Fired Up Friday. So only time you will not see a video is if we're traveling, because we never, ever miss a podcast. All right, let's get right into it. You came here to get inspired, but today you came here on Health Tuesday because it's the most important subject of the week. Why? Because if you don't have your health, you have nothing. Imagine you reach massive wealth and you forget about your health. But today we're going to talk about carbohydrates. Here's my little stick figure right here, ingesting a carbohydrate. So what really happens to a carbohydrate when you eat it, okay? We know we eat food for fuel, or not in our culture, we don't eat anymore. We eat it for pure pleasure. We stress eat. We don't use our food for fuel per se. But food is really fuel. Now, with my 3T Fitness system, I don't make people go on keto. Some people make that conscious decision. Do I like the keto diet? I think it's great because it provides brain fuel by producing ketones. Also, when your body has lack of glucose or lack of an energy source, it's going to tap into your fat cell, which is a stored energy. Okay, but what I do know is that most people love carbohydrates, to include me. So I designed my plan so that we can use the carbohydrate as fuel. So we're not scared of carbohydrates. Now remember this, proteins and fats are essential nutrients. Carbohydrates are non-essential nutrients. That's very important to understand. It's a non-essential nutrient. So what does that mean? It means when we ingest the carbohydrate, our body has to do something to break that down. Our body knows what to do with protein and fats. Protein is muscle building. It's the building blocks of our life, our everything. Think about fats as energy and hormone production. A lot of people don't realize fats are designed for energy. So do not go on a fat-free diet or nutrition plan. So let's break down. So this little person, guy or girl, ingests a carbohydrate. The carbohydrate gets broken down into simple sugars into your bloodstream, okay? So you ingest a carb. What's a carb? Potato, rice, candy, all the good stuff. So you ingest a carbohydrate, gets broken down into a simple sugar into your bloodstream, okay? So now let's go down this way. Let's ignore this for just a second. Gets broken down into a simple sugar into your bloodstream. It goes down, and what happens is your pancreas has to activate. Hopefully that's a good sign of a pancreas here. Your pancreas activates, and it releases insulin. We've all heard of insulin, right? A lot of type 2 diabetics have to do something to help their body or piggyback on the insulin to help the excess simple sugar in their bloodstream. So what happens is the pancreas releases insulin to go up into the bloodstream to grab the sugar out of the bloodstream. Imagine insulin as a taxi. The insulin's going to pick up the simple sugar in the bloodstream, put it in its cab. I put it like piggybacking on the insulin. Then it's going to come down into the cell to be used for energy. Here's where the problem lies in our American culture or our culture in general. The cell is packed with excess energy. The cell is overflowing in storage. The cell is not acting like a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart or a gas station where things are moving quickly and efficiently off the shelves, high-priced items. It's like a Costco. And here's where the problem lies. is constantly, as humans, we're ingesting carbohydrates. It's getting broken down in our system into our bloodstream, and our poor pancreas is pumping out insulin, trying to grab the excess glucose or sugars in your bloodstream, putting it in its taxi, and it's constantly trying to fill up your cell that is already full. Here's why. Because you're not exercising properly, you're not expending the excess energy. So here's what happens. This pancreas starts to get tired. The insulin starts to get tired, and then you need to take a medication, okay, that's going to piggyback onto your insulin. Okay, we'll take a med that's going to piggyback onto your insulin. That's going to have to help right here, type 2 diabetic. They're going to have to take excess insulin to help the simple sugars break down and try to store in your body. Then your body starts to get stressed because this process is happening over and over again, bouncing out, stressing out the pancreas, stressing out your liver, and so on. So John, how do we make these our friend? Well, there's a couple things you can do. You can stop eating carbohydrates altogether, but there's a lot of people I know that go on keto plans, low carbohydrate plans, which are great plans, awesome plans, but most people I know can't sustain that because carbohydrates are delicious. Fruits, potatoes, breads. When you ingest this, you have to ask yourself a question. Is this going to be food or storage? The only way you can answer that question is by dictating your activities throughout the day. There's two things you can do. Number one, you can create a fasted window. If you're live on the YouTube, I'm drawing out a diagram here of 12 hours. That allows your body to utilize this stored energy. Awesome. That's one thing you can do, create a fasted window to allow your body to metabolize the food, to be able to tap into your food as fuel. Or, in addition to, you can start lifting weights. If you had a choice to lift weights or do cardio to reduce your body weight, I would highly recommend lifting weights. If you can do both, awesome. Now, lifting weights, what that does is it's going to tap into these cells to reduce the energy, because when your insulin grabs the simple sugars, the insulin piggybacks onto the sugar piggybacks on the insulin to go into your cells. Well, let's think about that. Where does our body store energy? Our liver stores glycogen, our muscle stores glycogen, and our fat cell stores glucose. So you have three big storage tanks. Now what happens is if you're lifting weights and depleting your glycogen stores like we do in 3T Fitness, we talk about that all the time, squeezing the muscle and depleting your glycogen stores, your muscle cell is going to be empty. We're going to deplete our liver by doing glycolytic depletion workouts. Now what's left is your cell, your fat cell, which is full of glucose. So now your body's going to start to tap into it. So when you eat a carbohydrate, it's used for fuel. So it's that simple. It's not that you can't eat carbs. It's that you got to ask yourself, where is this non-essential nutrient going to go? That's how you answer the weight loss question. You don't have to go on an HCG diet, reduce your calories to 500 calories, eat an apple and a piece of almond to survive. What you have to do is create a fasted window. Start working out, metabolizing that food. So your body uses carbohydrates as energy. It's that simple. It's a non-essential nutrient. You have to take control of your body and tell that food to become fuel. It's really that simple. At 3T Fitness, we make the complex simple. That's what we do. Making the complex simple so that you can make informed decisions so that you can go out there and take control of your health and then eventually your wealth. All right, my name is Coach JV. I'm the top health and mindset coach in the world. Do me a huge favor. If this podcast impacted your life, send it to one person who hasn't heard it yet. If this YouTube channel or YouTube video impacted your life, like, comment, send it to a friend that may need this. But I always say this at the end of every podcast. I love you very, very much, but damn well, don't let me love you more than you love yourself. Coach JV, signing out till Hump Day Wednesday.